From Tegan Coons, and he's back out here again in the sixth. It's been an exciting day for this Tennessee pitching staff, getting back three really key pieces to what they want to do this season. As Coons faced the minimum in the fifth, had some help from his defense, and then made a defensive play himself as well.
He did, and what are the odds you get all three back on the same day? I know it's partly dependent on how the week lines up and the midweek schedule and when guys are ready to go. Maybe this is on purpose. You don't want to give a guy his first outing back from injury or illness be a weekend game in Houston, but I think it's really encouraging for the staff. You feel like you got three weapons back, and one of them in A.J. Russell that you weren't necessarily expecting to be this soon. I think it was kind of any day now that Coons and Loy would get back out there, but A.J. Russell being back certainly changes the landscape of how the pitching staff develops as they get closer to SEC play.
Yeah, obviously still some time before SEC play, but Tennessee's weekend pitching staff has done really well, especially that Friday night duo. Liam Doyle and Tanner Franklin combined for 20 strikeouts on Friday night. Doyle leads the nation in strikeouts. He has set career highs in both of his starts, and Tanner Franklin has been just as sharp, 1A, 1B. That 3-2 fouled off, so you feel good through Friday night. Can't touch that at the moment. Marcus Phillips and Nate Snead did a good job over the weekend, also piggybacking off one another, but Snead started Sunday, week one, so already some room to maneuver. (3-2). Coons gets his first career strikeout.
Goes back to the fastball there, gets up and in. Ball gets above the hands. Good ride on the fastball right here. Kind of ties him up. But yeah, I mean, Snead, they kind of, he can start, he can relieve. It kind of just depends on where they see him fitting in best or adding the most value. And so as Russell progresses and kind of carve out that Sunday role, could end up being Snead, could be a guy like Coons later on down the line. If they want Russell to start and he feels like he can extend long enough to do that, that could be an option. Loy, if you want to throw a lefty in there somewhere, they've got a lot of options in terms of how it's going to all come together, but they've always seemed to be able to dial the right buttons and make it work. However the combination looks is less important. The result is a top 10, top 5 pitching staff when you look up at the end of it, and it's kind of hard to argue when those are the results that they'll figure it out. It just kind of depends on what pieces they put together.
And the feeling is, if A.J. Russell's at full strength, him and Coons are both obviously too talented to be staying in the midweeks. Gonna have to find some time for them on the weekends. Here's the 3-2. Just fouled back from Delgado. But again, a good problem to have for Tennessee. Abundance of options. Delgado fighting another 3-2. And that is up and inside. Ball 4.
Delgado's had several really quality at-bats today. Lined out to center, works a full count there, fouls off another one, and then gets the walk.
One out base runner for North Alabama as we kind of hit that dusk part of the evening here in Knoxville. It's been perfect weather here today after some cold temperatures last week. Just a great way to conclude for Tennessee their homestand. In Tennessee, they've gotten to debut 3 pitchers who expect to make huge impact this year. Tegan Coons, inning and a third. He walks the fifth batter he's faced, and Tony Vitello will make the call to the bullpen. But a good debut for Coons. Got his first strikeout. And most importantly, was able to check off that first on the mound here in his career. So back to the bullpen go the Volunteers as they go to grab Luke Payne. The righty will step foot on the mound next. Pitching change for Tennessee. It's lefty Luke Payne, sophomore, who pitched in 4 games last season. Step out on the mound for the second time here in 2025, and here it's one base runner and an out here in the 6th.
Gallatin, Tennessee native.
And Tony Vitello's done a good job recruiting the state of Tennessee since he stepped foot on campus. A lot of impressive arms from the state, like yourself, Will.
That's too kind. I got out of there at a good time. Fastball 91 there from Payne.
Big time swing from Petey Kreska.
Goes up one more tick to 92.
He made his debut in the Hofstra series, that Sunday finale. 1 inning, no hits, 1 strikeout, 1 walk.
Listed at 6'4".
Tennessee been able to get in a new arm every inning, just about. Able to have a makeshift bullpen day in that Sunday finale win over Samford. Only got 7 innings in that one, so they didn't even get in all the arms they might have even planned to. Tennessee's only played past the 7th inning twice.
Yeah, I know that's kind of driving them crazy, but with the weather and some of the lopsided scores, it just comes with the territory of putting up the runs they have.
First batter faced, Payne will walk Kreska, so 2 aboard with 1 down for the Lions.
But no run rule tonight. Either way, should North Alabama or Tennessee find themselves up 10+ runs after 7, we're gonna play the final 2 either way tonight, which I know Coach Vitello and staff are glad to be able to do, so they can get the guys like Luke Payne out there and give them an opportunity.
And you can speak to it, you know, obviously just as a young pitcher. I mean, just getting in-game experience, one, just has to be, you get to check off a few first things, but just the confidence, it grows each time, and you get to learn a bit more each time too. Payne's outing might not be a long one.
No. Vitello doesn't do mound visits. He does pitching changes. So when you see him, you know they're going to the bullpen. Obviously not the way Payne wanted it to go, but good batter in between. To your point, you get value from that. This will be a learning experience for him to come in and be more aggressive out of the gate, throwing strikes. Was able to get back in that count with a breaking ball and then tried to go back to it 3-2 and got away from him and left it up.
Yep, so Payne's evening is a quick one. 6 pitches. He walks a batter, and will give the ball over to Austin Hundley out on the mound here in the 6th. Tennessee, you're in the top of the 6th, 2 aboard, 1 down in the inning, as the Lions knocking on the door with Alex Wade at the plate, who's 0 for 2, but an RBI situation as Tennessee goes to their 3rd arm of the inning. First pitch, Hundley has Wade swinging.
Hundley had a big outing over the weekend against Samford. Was it Saturday or Sunday he came in? Got some big outs.
Sunday, yeah, Hundley 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Very efficient.
Older brother Sean, also a VFL, currently with the Tampa Bay Rays organization.
Yeah, Hundley, some experience last season. Just didn't really see everything come together. But so far to start this season, things look a little bit more in sync and has been very reliable. Two fouled off.
Yeah, with a lot of guys, you'll see that freshman year to sophomore year jump, get a little bit better stuff, maybe a little bit more athletic, a little more comfortable in their skin, being in the program for a year. And you could see it last year with Hundley, strike thrower and has the talent, but the stuff seems to have taken a next step this year, if you will.
He's got 2 wins already in his win-loss column. Another pitch fouled off from Alex Wade. North Alabama doing a good job of working counts as they try to strike with this opportunity. Both Delgado and Kraska on were able to draw walks, back-to-back walks from this Lions lineup. 3-2. Swung on and missed as Hundley able to calm the waters for out number 2.
Another 3-2 count worked by a North Alabama hitter, but you see that ball take off there on Hundley, that lower slot. That one just ran away from, or ran in on the hitter, kind of away from his barrel.
First pitch swinging, Walker on the ground, Hundley over to the bag. And again, a very efficient outing for Austin Hundley. Very confident out of the pen. It takes 3 Tennessee pitchers, but is scoreless top of the 6th for the Vols.
Looks like our YMCA got the Holy Grail card in. If you get a score for Eddie Barrett, you are correct. Today's winner is Darcy Durkin. Leading off the ball, number 11, Andrew Fisher.
Bottom 6, Tennessee by 5 runs, 4-5-6. Due up in the lineup for Tennessee. Another new pitcher for North Alabama is, just like Tennessee, going to feature a lot of different arms. Gavin Oswald out on the bump to start this inning. Impressive 6'6", 290. The lefty will try to face the power of this lineup.
Good spot to go with the lefty because you got Fisher here and then switch hitter Peoples on deck, but then another lefty in Chapman. So 2 out of the 3 guaranteed to face are going to be lefties.
Fisher rolls one over. Oswald humming to first, and he's got in time for out number 1. Fisher now 0 for 3 on the night. Now Cannon Peoples will stand in. He's had a good game. 2 for 3 with an RBI. He's hit the ball hard. And Peoples, at times last year, battling slumps at the plate. But so far, he has started out as a mainstay in this lineup. A couple of games he hasn't been in the lineup. That's natural as a catcher. But the average is sitting at 3.
I'm stuck on Gavin. 290, 6'6". I mean, the football teams had to come try to steal him at least once, right? Moved pretty well on the PFP right there, getting off the mound too. So
yeah. Now, redshirt junior, newcomer to this pitching staff. Came from Mineral Area College, Park Hills, Missouri. That one skips the plate. He played football in high school, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, that would have been criminal had he not.
A lot of newcomers this North Alabama team as Chad Prakniak continues to build this roster up. A good 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Oswald. Sits down Peebles.
Froze him right there. That kind of pounded off speed. That one looked harder, way harder than 89 just because of how well he set it up. Perfect location, freezes Peebles.
Gonna look at Reese Chapman now, who is 2 for 3. He struck out last time up. A pair of RBIs on the line. Fouls that one away. Of course, this Tennessee lineup next time up will get to play in a big league ballpark. I mean, as a player, how fun is it? One, I mean, you just get to get away from the normal routine of home February baseball, but to play in a park like that.
It's a great experience, and I just loved being on the road, getting to hang out in the hotel or play games on the bus or whatever. But I think being on the road is one of the most fun parts about college baseball, and when you get to play in a park like that, and hopefully, you know, all the fan bases, but we know Tennessee fans will travel well and have a good showing out there. And you know, I believe this one is a Shriners tournament, so you know you're there for a good cause. So they just do a great job of putting these on, and obviously the level of play is very high, and the field conditions are pristine, and it's just a great event. It's really good experience for the players, and I think since Tennessee played in the one, I believe it was 22 was the first year they went down there, and they've done it every year since, and always play good competition. Last year it was Texas Tech, Baylor, and Oklahoma, 1-2 of the 3. Then this year they'll play Oklahoma State on Friday. Saturday it'll be against Rice, and then Sunday it'll be against now Big 12 Arizona.
Projected right up there with the top teams in the Big 12 in their first season in terms of preseason poll, the Big 12.
Yeah, Oklahoma picked to be the winner preseason. They got out of the gate slow a little bit, but they've also played a really challenging schedule. They played in the tournament week 1, played Clemson, Texas, and one other I'm trying to remember, but definitely will be a contender in the Big 12, as will Arizona be.
Yeah, just so many, good reasons for, why coaches and players are going to love a weekend like this. But you talk about those little moments of bonding experiences, getting to travel with the team. A lot of these guys haven't had much of that yet. Obviously, you got some mini trips in the fall, and then you do some other things throughout the off season. But this is like your first true in season. This is how it's going to be life on the road, and those moments are so valuable long term.
100%, and for all these freshmen like Levi Clark who's stepping in the box, you got to learn how to get your hotel room key, and where to take your laundry when you get in from practice on Thursday night. So just little things like that you don't know until you've done it. Match, you got a chance even if you're not throwing 100, which Abraham has a good arm. That's off the end, right at Abernathy. Another slider there.
Yeah, 90 to move.
90 can look like 95, 96 if you show him a breaking ball for a strike and then set up a fastball with a changeup or something like that. It's just there's a lot of ways to do it, and they certainly have the power arms on the staff, but they got a lot of guys who can just really pitch too, and I think that's always a staple of being a good pitching staff, is having different looks and different ways to go about it.
I mean, you could talk about the big names in who you lose through the pitching staff. No Drew Beam, anchors Anders Sechrist and A.J. Causey, but you've got a lot of holes to fill in terms of Aaron Combs and a Kirby Cannell, and guys who really ate a lot of innings and did so at a level you were extremely confident at. Guys who have been there and done that. So certain roles like that are still left to be figured out because, one, Tennessee hasn't been in too many of those situations yet. You need a guy in a situation, got to get this out. Had some tight situations with Samford, but still haven't yet filled those roles yet. But this is what this is about, experience, picking up data.
Yeah, and that was once, and Snead was in at that point. You kind of knew that was his to finish, but you need multiple. I mean, think about Kirby last year. They threw him literally every game, like their last 10 games. I think he pitched in all of them. So
look down to first. Sloan did not go, so new life for the third baseman. Checked into this game midway through.
I think that's the right call. It was close, but looked like he held up there.
Full count on the way. Fouled back.
Sloan, who came in after the starting third baseman Loving went down after diving for that ball. He's made a nice play, and he's put together a couple good at-bats. To your point about the staff, you lose all three weekend starters. I mean, that's a ton of innings. Then you throw in your two of your three highest leverage bullpen guys, and that's just a lot of turnover. But there's not really any time to rebuild anymore. It's reload, and you got to step right in.
Up the middle. What an at-bat for Jaden Sloan. A 2-out single.
Yeah, that was phenomenal at-bat. Fouls off multiple pitches, gets it to 3-2.
Now batting number 8, Jonathan Blake.
Extends the inning here with 2 outs. If you're Abraham, though, you're fine with that. It's 3-2. Throw it over the plate. If he gets a hit, cost of doing business, move on to the next guy. You don't want to walk him there with 2 outs. And he's right back to it. Drops in a slider for strike 1.
Yeah, Tennessee, it's the same conversation every year. It's just, it's not a rebuild at this point. It's reload, next man up, and Volunteers have had the depth to be able to do that for the last few years now. As Lane goes the other way, that's back-to-back 2-out singles for North Alabama.
Right through the 4-hole there. Gets a 0-1 fastball at 89.
Now batting number 14, Alex Wilson.
Outer third, may have been on the black. Didn't do a whole lot with it, but punches it through. For his first hit of the day, good piece of hit, and now you've got trying to do what Tennessee's done all day, and that's get a little something going with 2 outs.
A full infield in for Abraham as he worked quickly to the first 2 of the inning, and now back-to-back singles. Again, a chance just to work with the freshman. There's some action out there in the bullpen. That's Ryan Combs out there getting loose. And Tennessee's kept 2 in the family with Hundley and Combs.
They figured Sean and Aaron were pretty good. Might as well just bring in Austin and Ryan.
Yeah, both have been very reliable options.
Jake Rucker's younger brother was supposed to make his way to Tennessee and ended up signing professionally straight out of high school.
That's in the air. Foul territory. That's the benefit, right, of Tony Vitello and how well he builds relationships with his players, families, is that, you know, obviously families are a big part of this Tennessee program.
Absolutely, and it's the whole staff is still together too. We've talked about it multiple times, the continuity of this now the 8th season, and you've still got Elander, still got Anderson. They talk all the time about how high level the academic support staff here is as well for the baseball guys. I mean, they're truly taken care of, and they're trying to develop men. I know that gets said a lot and it's cliche, but it is true.
Another base hit up the middle for Wilson. Held up at third, though, was Sloan, and he's going to score a little bit late. They tried to check at second for Lane, almost got him, but North Alabama gets another run.
Yeah, this one just off kind of the end of the bat, a little bleeder up the middle. That's 2 in a row that have had eyes on him. And I mean, if Inslee comes up, did he bobble it? He bobbled it too. So the runner at third stopped. I thought Inslee was going to throw him out when he basically did a hesitation move at third base. But Inslee bobbles the ball, so he ends up scoring anyways. And now here comes Coach Vitello to make a pitching change. Kind of unfortunate for Abraham. It didn't really feel like he got hit hard. He had the long AB with Sloan, nobody on with 2 outs, and then 2 kind of seeing eye singles later, and next thing you know, you've given up a run. And
North Alabama has struck together 3 straight singles here with 2 outs, and Abraham, and not the hardest hit balls, but he is allowed a run here in the 7th, and the Lions have cut it back within 4. So back to the bullpen goes Tennessee. It's the Volunteers by 4 here in the 7th. North Alabama has put together a run here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. They've cut Tennessee's lead back within 4. Matthew Delgado back in, and he's been a tough one to get. Walked in his last at-bat. Tennessee back to the bullpen. They go with the righty Austin Breedlove from Ottawa, Tennessee. Another newcomer for this Tennessee bullpen. And a 1-1 start.
yeah, played his JUCO ball at Cleveland State in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Really good off speed there. 1-2.
Spins the breaking ball well and has some carry on the fastball at about 90, 92.
That's on the ground. Tennessee looking for the final out of the inning. They've got it as Curley. Easy throw over to second, so job well done from Breedlove. He gets the final out. Stretch time here in Knoxville.
It's 7-16.
Season in Tennessee with a 4-run margin lead over North Alabama. Midweek all across the SEC, all kinds of action across the nation as we're firmly cemented into this new season. Bit warmer weather today than past days. You mentioned it, Will. Some weather kind of affected a lot of games across the nation over the weekend. North Alabama only got 2 games in. So certainly very welcomed temperatures in Knoxville today.
I'd take 95 over 45 in a heartbeat.
Yep.
I'm always cold though. Dalton Bargo has stepped in to pinch hit.
Yep, first AB for Bargo. He was a mainstay in that Samford series over the weekend. Had a home run and was 1 for 10 on the weekend. That home run is only hit. It tied the game up at one point in that Saturday thriller. But he is tied for the team lead. 3 home runs on the year. He had 2 in last week's midweek win over UNC Asheville.
Yeah, another one of those guys kind of like Chapman that split DH duties throughout the year and has kind of been, fouls one off there, kind of been fighting for a solidified role to start this year, but you know, the pop in the bat is obvious with Bargo and he can kind of play anywhere, so for him it really just comes down to does he hit consistently enough? And time will tell. And he's certainly an option anytime to give you a big swing.
Puts one on the ground to second, and the play is made from Lane. Out number 1 is Landon Scruggs, right-hander on the mound for North Alabama. And I think the question is going to be is you're going to start having situations where it's filling out a lineup card. You got a guy like Dalton Bargo. He's been through a full season with the program. He's been to Omaha. He's contributed on that team. Then you've got some freshmen in terms of they're very talented, not as much experience. They're racking up experience, guy like Jay Abernathy, but there will be times you get the feeling that maybe Bargo's veteranship is going to play a factor.
100%. And for me, it just comes down to who hits SEC pitching the best, and we won't know till we get there. And so I think they've done a good job of keeping everybody engaged and rotating it as best they can or however they see fit. And then eventually the players will tell them who's won the job.
Abernathy, a ground out to short, so 2 up, 2 down. And that's the thing with having competition like Tennessee has, that every bat does feel like it's not do or die, but you got eyes on you here. You're trying to win spots, especially as these freshmen. Every at bat matters. It's your first, and you want to get playing time in SEC play. And you treat it like it is an SEC game, even though here we are in a midweek in early February.
100%. And I'm not saying you can't gain ground or develop trust from a midweek game or any non-conference game, but you know that it's a different animal when you get in, and it makes it tougher. Like, it's not, I'm not saying it makes it any easier. It'd be nice to be Dean Curley and you're going to be written in the leadoff spot and shortstop every single day, but I think you come to Tennessee knowing that you're going to have to compete to get on the field, much less compete against other teams. And as a competitor, you love that and you want that opportunity, and these guys do a good job with it. And they all root for each other, but at the same time, that internal competition is what has made the program what it is, and what it's turned into is that not only is it next man up mentality if somebody goes down, but it's also a constant battle just to stay in the lineup, and that's what keeps them so elite. So yeah, it does add a little bit of pressure, but at the end of the day, it makes everybody better.
And it's a big part why Tennessee's able to reload is you've got guys that have been putting together competitive at-bats like this for a lot of different years. Tennessee seems to always have one guy kind of explode out of nowhere that's been with the team for a bit of time, and then hey, you get that chance, you're a little older, and then all of a sudden take off.
Yeah, Jared Dickey's the first one that comes to my mind. He exploded in 22 after taking a redshirt year in 21. Ended up being one of the best hitters and being an early round draft pick. And last year it was Kavares Tears, probably top of the list for that one. A guy who waited his turn and exploded onto the scene.
Guy like Trey Lipscomb as well, 2022.
Yeah, how can you?
Got called up last season.
I apologize. I mean, Trey's my
There's
guy.
No wrong answer.
He's in the big leagues now. I almost forgot that. Like, yeah, he had to wait his turn, but I mean, the guy arguably could have won SEC Player of the Year as a junior and made his way quickly through the minor leagues, which is not really a surprise when you think about the type of character Trey Lipscomb has and the talent to go with it and the mentality. I mean, just such a steady presence in the box and on the field and in the clubhouse. I mean, he was already a pro when he was here, and they've had guys just like that since.
Yeah, Tony Vitello talks a lot about being a good teammate, and that's obviously it's what's going to make you successful. And that's like, obvious coach speak, one. But two, it's just with how much talent is on this roster at this stage of the Tony Vitello experience, you almost have to be willing to do things that maybe don't fit your particular ego. Play a different position. You're going to have to, Levi Clark you hit a grand slam today. Well, okay, you're maybe not going to be in the lineup the next day.
You gotta have a little bit of that to be good at baseball, but you're exactly right. You gotta be selfless and be willing to understand the bigger picture on some of these things. And I think Levi Clark knows that he's going to be a big piece of the program, and he already is. So he was probably a little confused, but at least he didn't go punch Coach Vitello in the face. So
no,
that's always a plus.
Back-to-back walks here from North Alabama as Dean Curley and Gavin Keelan able to draw a ball forward. Landon Scruggs got 2 outs fairly quickly here in the home half of the 7th. Now dealing with Hunter Ensley, 1-0 start. Ensley 1 for 4 today. Fits that mold, who've really gone through a couple of different experiences every given year with this Tennessee program, and now he's gone from probably when he stepped foot on campus, never would have thought, hey, I'm going to hit 3-hole on this Tennessee team the year after was a huge part of a national championship experience.
Yeah, for sure. And he's the veteran leadership headed into this year pretty obviously, and I think throwing him in the 3-hole was just a great idea. And he's a really good hitter, don't get me wrong, but you could have left him kind of in the 5 where he was last year. He's hit leadoff at some times in his career, the 2-hole some. He's been at the bottom, but he's never hit 3-hole. And I think after what transpired in Omaha last year and the fall that he had, you just kind of feel like it is a respect thing and throw him in the 3-hole and kind of let him lead this team. And I think they have so much trust in him and confidence that they can do that. And I'm not sure there's many other people you'd one up in big situations if he happens to get there from the 3-hole. Takes one kind of off the jersey right there. Doesn't look like it caught him too bad, which is most ideal. If you're going to get hit by the ball, you want it to graze you or hit you somewhere that doesn't hurt as bad. Yeah, barely caught the sleeve of the new pinstripe jersey that Tennessee's wearing today, and that'll be it.
Yeah, 3 straight balls on, and time for a change here for North Alabama. Is Tennessee pretty good 2-out hitting team as Andrew Fisher potentially due up as the Lions bring in the righty from the pen. To reach on free passes, 2 walks, and then Hunter Ensley hit by a pitch, which would have been ball 4. And that's going to set the table for Andrew Fisher. So in comes Kyle Lewis, righty from the pen, 1 inning thrown this season. We'll try to get the Lions out of this jam because still North Alabama within 4 runs, a striking distance with 6 outs left offensively.
Yeah, hanging around a little bit. They've kind of inched their way back in. 3 straight scoreless innings put together for the pitching staff, and then they've just chipped away. Got 1 in the 7th to cut it to 4. So if you can get out of this one without any further damage, or without any damage, then you've got a chance to make it a 3-2 1-run game or tie it in the top of the 8th.
Bases loaded for Fisher. That's a home run type cut. Fisher 0 for 3 tonight, so he's looking for his first base hit. It's his first at bat this season with the bases loaded. Look out. Fisher has to duck out of the way. Ball 3. Cannot afford another free pass here. Not allowing a run.
Looked like a changeup grip almost that just didn't get on top of.
3-1. Strike 2. Kyle Lewis hits the zone. 1 inning. Did not allow a hit, a run, or a walk. Had a strikeout, so it was an efficient inning. Inherits 3 base runners here. Full count pitch. Fisher on the ground. Picked up by Kraska, and Tennessee strands 3. So Kyle Lewis does his job. Tennessee scoreless again offensively for the 4th straight frame. We played 7 here in Knoxville. Tennessee by 4 runs. Kraska leads things off for North Alabama. It's 4-5-6. As Austin Breedlove got 1 final out last inning, he'll step back in for another frame of work here. 2 1/3 so far on his season thus far. He's only allowed 1 base runner. North Alabama, a good job of holding Tennessee scoreless here in the middle portion of this ball game. Tennessee got out to a really good start. 5 runs in the first. Really did a good job capitalizing with 2 outs. Home run from Gavin Keelan added on in the 3rd, and Tennessee looked like they were on pace for a massive offensive production day, but back into this North Alabama bullpen kept things a bit more quiet middle of the way through.
Yeah, they had, and you told me it was, 12 left on base since then, and so that can happen. I mean, you throw the first punch like that, you can kind of almost exhale a little bit. You don't want to.
Kraska looking for the gap, drops it in. It's the 7th base hit for North Alabama tonight and a leadoff single.
But like we've said, they keep chipping away, and they've almost lulled Tennessee to sleep a little bit so they can kind of slide back in and make this thing interesting.
Yeah, Kraska now with 2 hits on the day. He's 2 for 3 in the cleanup spot for a reason. He's done some damage. Following Kraska, 5, 6, 7 have yet to reach for North Alabama here tonight. So showing bunt is Wade, can't get it down. North Alabama will try to make use of it. The Lions also have stranded 6 on base. They had 2 on back in the 6th inning, and then they left 2 stranded last inning as well, so they've left a bit on the table too. Swing and a miss from Wade, not even close on that one from Breedlove. That pitch is going to bounce away from Peebles, and into scoring position now is Kraska. Two-two count with Alex Wade. Righty v righty matchup. RBI chance now. That pitch just misses as Peebles kind of having a word with Breedlove there after a couple pitches a bit low.
Yeah, 3rd or 4th straight breaking ball. Really trying to put him away with that one.
On the ground, it's Ariel Antigua in at shortstop, and he is so good defensively. No problems there. Round number 1.
Goes back to the heater on 3-2 there, gets the ground ball, and Antigua is quite smooth playing shortstop. Got a quick first step and works all the way through it.
Well, Breedlove got the last out of last inning and stranded a pair of Lions, and now after 1 out, now runner in scoring position in the 8th. Back to the bullpen goes Tony Vitello, and it looks like Ryan Combs is going to be up next for Tennessee here in the top of the 8th. This Tennessee pitching staff looking for 5 more outs in this ball game. The righty from Sarasota, Florida, joins this Tennessee staff from Polk State JUCO, and we saw Austin Hundley, brother of Sean Hundley, earlier. Now we see Ryan Combs, brother of Aaron Combs.
Yeah, and Ryan, similar to Aaron, really good off speed. His changeup is his out pitch. Right on cue. Drops that one in there for a strike. He's got high spin rate as we keep talking about with certain guys, but his stuff has a ton of carry and plays up. Typically 88 to 90, but really rides the plane similar to Aaron.
Sharp on that fastball for strike 2. Combs has been effective in 2 outings. Last one just on Sunday, pitched an inning in that finale with Sanford. 2 strikeouts, 1 base runner allowed. A 1-2 lunged out. Walker looking to drop it in. He does. Abernathy ran a little bit past it. They hold everyone as Kraska will stop at third. Their cleanup hitter, not as much speed. They're going to keep him on the corner with 1 out.
Goes to the changeup with 2 strikes, and kind of an excuse me. It was way out front, but able to keep the hands back long enough to dump it over the infield and keep it in front of the outfield. So now a little trouble here for Tennessee with runners on the corners and 1 out. Jenkins in the plate. In the box, excuse me. Fastball at 88 from Combs right there for strike 1.
And Combs inherited the base runner in Kraska standing at third. Really good pitch there for strike 2.
Yeah, it looked like Jenkins gave up on that one immediately, and then it turned the other way. That was a breaking ball. But when the scouting report says change up, change up, change up, and then you spin one off the other way, it makes it tough. And then he goes to the changeup right on right.
Slow roller. Antigua only plays to first. Fantastic play at short. A run does score for North Alabama. Leighton Jenkins, you've done your job and you get 1 run in.
This is a ridiculous play. Really should have been a hit. But Antigua, the transfer is so quick and the arm strength is so good that he's able to really beat him by a comfortable margin. Off the bat, I thought Dean was the only one with a chance to come across and cut it off to have a chance, but you saw him pull up almost immediately, which tells you Ariel was calling for it almost right off the bat.
Yeah, Teague was such a good defender, provided a lot of support at short last year as that ball took a weird hop away. Walker able to get to third.
Just go behind him?
Looked like it hit something. Either a mitt or I thought it might have hit the batter or the bat.
I think Peebles thought it was either going to hit him, and then when he ducked, I think his bat was still up. I don't know how it missed the bat. I think Peebles thought it was going to hit the bat, and then it hit off his glove. But
yeah. Sends Walker to third. 1-1 count for R.J. Sherwood. Base hit brings this game back to 2 runs. Combs a strike away from forcing the Lions to need 3 in the 9th.
Got around that changeup.
Sherwood is 0 for 2. He walked in the 3rd. Ground out and a fly out. 2-2.
Just down.
Just missing there now. Full count.
I'd go back to the changeup here at 3-2.
Full count pitch on the way. Combs home. And hit high and foul.
Went fastball. Sherwood able to pick it up and foul it off. Based on that swing, I would definitely go change up now.
3-2. Got him. Froze Sherwood. It ends the inning. North Alabama leads. Runner stranded at third.
Got through this one, and it just runs back over the plate with a ton of depth. Gets him out of the inning.
Chance for Tennessee to add some further insurance here. Bottom of the 8th. 7-4. As Tennessee right now in the driver's seat. North Alabama down to their final 3 outs. Again, a big weekend on the horizon for this Tennessee team as we move to the 3rd weekend of the regular season. Already going pretty fast through this first month of action. Tennessee will be in Houston with competition against Oklahoma State, Rice, and Arizona.
Kyle Lewis came in, got him out, got North Alabama out of the jam last inning. Gets to go back out for the bottom half of the 8th here.
At Tennessee, again, they have left 12 on base in this game. Scored all 7 of their runs in the first 3 innings, and it's been quiet offensively the last 4 trips. This inning we'll see Peebles, Chapman, and Clark due up. Potential to see pinch hitters as well. Tony Vitello and squad. A lot of action across the SEC as well. In midweeks, Samford and Auburn going head-to-head. Auburn was down 2-0 to Samford. Common opponent for both these teams. As Peebles takes strike 3, out number 1. Auburn leads 5-2 over the Bulldogs now.
Kyle Lewis gets the strike 3 call there on the fastball. Set him up with a couple really good changeups. Saw Ryan Combs and said, I got a good yo-yo too.
Yeah, Lewis has been sharp. His first strikeout. And now Reese Chapman back in. He's 2 for 3 today. 2 big RBI singles, really. Almost the difference at this point. Some of those early opposite field swings to left. Texas A&M in a battle with Texas State right now. 4-2, Texas State in the 3rd. Number 1 A&M squad.
Texas State beat Oklahoma State.
Yeah, great
Last week.
program at Texas State.
Who
Midweek.
As we've mentioned 7 times now, Tennessee is playing on Friday, in case you didn't hear.
Probably mention it again in the 9th.
At Dakin Field.
Yep.
I don't like that.
It feels weird, doesn't it?
I don't like that.
It's been a couple of different names, obviously.
Minute Maid is one of the, I don't know.
Just sticks, right?
Yeah, it was a good name. It was easy to say.
Yep.
Dakin? Whoever's last name that is, I apologize. Whatever, or if it's a company, I'm sorry. But Minute Maid was better.
Yep, definitely an adjustment to get used to that one.
But the park is still awesome.
Yep. They used to have the big mound out in center field. They got rid of that.
Yeah. They still run the train when there's a home run, I think.
It's just a very unique park.
It is.
Just dimensions very different from anywhere you'll ever play. That 3-2, foul tip into the mid. That's strike 3. So back-to-back hits for Kyle Lewis.
Yeah, Kyle Lewis fastball's been 81 to 83 with a 71 to 73 mile an hour changeup. He's just done a really good job of mixing those 2 pitches, and I think Tennessee's taking some big swings, expecting a little more contact than they've come up with, but it's kind of a funky delivery, which is a compliment to a pitcher. It's just not easy to pick up, and then he drops in a curveball there at 68. So obviously not the hardest thrower, but like we've said several times, it's not always velocity. If you can mix speeds and locate, you can get outs.
Can he get Levi Clark out? No one has been able to do that so far tonight. 2 walks and 2 base hits, a single and a double. Again, he's just been, everything is advertised in his first year with the program, maybe probably a bit more production-wise. 13 RBIs still, but 9 hits and 15 ABs to start your career. Pretty good.
Yeah, he just looks so balanced at the plate. Really good athlete. Has a good eye. It feels like every count gets to 2-2, 3-2 for him, or if he doesn't swing at the first one. He's willing to just take his walks there. Got a really bright future.
And that's walk number 3 for Levi Clark. He's been on 5 times. Certainly is showing that leads people to expect probably going to see him over the weekend in Houston. Without a doubt. A couple of options for that Friday opener. Be interesting lineup-wise as Tennessee will take out Clark. Get a pitch runner
so.
in. Backus.
I wouldn't think so, but you never know.
Dallenbargo back in. Runner on and 2 down. Bargo 0 for 1 in his lone AB in this midweek. And underneath this one towards left center. Hanging up in the air. And cut from Sherwood and left. So that ends the inning. North Alabama still within 3 runs as they're down to their final 3 outs. We go to the 9th. Final 3 outs. This competitive midweek game. And Tennessee got out to a really hot start, but slowed down offensively as the night went on. North Alabama kind of slowly chipping away throughout. But now they need 3 runs to keep this one alive. As Ryan Combs still in the game on the mound. 9-1-2 due up here in this inning. Led off by Jaden Sloan, who had to check into this game midway through. And that 0-2 called strike 3. Very efficient start to the frame for Ryan Combs.
Goes fastball, changeup, fastball, and just a subtle little hitch there at the top of the delivery on that 0-2 heater there, kind of freezes Sloan and locates it well. That first out's usually one of the tougher ones to get in the ninth.
Yeah, Tennessee certainly learned a lot with this pitching staff. That is the main storyline, is 3 guys made their season debut. For Tegan Kuhns, his Tennessee debut in his career. 3 guys that are expected to pitch a lot of big innings.
Yeah, 100%. You got a lot out of today, regardless of the outcome or how they'll feel going into the locker room. I think it was definitely a step forward and kind of a checked box, if you will, for the pitching staff in particular.
Jonathan Lane crushes a line drive into left. That's his second hit. He is 2 for 5 in the leadoff spot.
So this time, instead of the hitch, he goes no leg lift. Goes heater. It was the slowest heater he's thrown today, and gets hit out into left for a base hit.
Alex Wilson back in. He had an RBI single last time around, and just getting 1 guy on first step here for North Alabama. They trail by 3, 2 outs left on the board for him. At 1-0, misses inside. North Alabama up next. They've got a series with UAB. That's on the road in Birmingham, not too far. This is the start of quite the road stretch for North Alabama. They don't play back home until April the 1st.
I think their field's being redone. I don't know if that was...
Yep, ongoing renovations.
I don't know if that was a reasoning for not playing there.
Could be.
Much to start the year if it just lined up that way, but...
That's ball 4, so now the tying run's going to come to the plate. 2-1 with 1 down.
And it's Delgado, arguably their most powerful, dangerous hitter. Frank Anderson's going to make a mound visit, check on Combs.
Yeah, there has been some activity out in the bullpen. Tennessee's made a couple of mid-inning pitching changes here. Frank Anderson out just to have a word with Combs and see if he can try to press through these final 2 outs, if not 1 more out. What do you talk about in these mound visits, Will?
I don't know. I always forget as soon as he walks away, but...
Back to work.
No, I'm just kidding. Typically, you know, there might be a word or two advice. Maybe you're doing something mechanically, or maybe you just want to say something to calm you down or change the mentality. But then it's talking about attacking the hitter that's coming up. You know, he may ask you what you want to start with, or give an idea. Hey, I think we go at this guy this way, or whatever. So it's usually pretty brief.
Don't want to flood with too much information, right? Got to keep the headspace in a even spot.
He doesn't like to go out there much, so
nope.
You know he's got something to say if he goes out there.
That ball skips away, so now 2 in scoring position, and a 2-0 count with Matthew Delgado in. Delgado has not gotten a hit today. Has drawn a walk, but he has made good contact with the ball. And then, of course, the guy on deck, Kraska, has 2 hits. 3-0. Starting to get loud over there in the Lions dugout. And trying to put together something here in the 9th. Combs hits the zone that time. Little off the fastball where he started. On the ground, Antigua able to throw on to first for out number 2. It does bring in a run. North Alabama within 2, but now down to their final out.
Yeah, and Tennessee will trade that for sure. Get an out, stop the momentum a little bit. Tying run still at the plate, but like you said, 1 out away.
Petey Kraska represents the tying run now, 7-5. Tennessee lead. Kraska is 2 for 3, a double and a single. First pitch fouled off.
And does have a home run on the young season, so. Definitely has some juice, pretty obvious. He's a muscular frame fella.
Combs misses inside there, 1-1. Combs up to 30 in the pitch count. Try to dig for this final out. It's the guy North Alabama wants at the plate in this spot. Now down to a final strike. Combs on the 1-2. That's strike 3. Ryan Combs shuts the door, and Tennessee grabs a midweek win over North Alabama.
Got a little interesting late. Kraska, understandably not in agreement with those last two strike calls, but Tennessee survives and moves to 8-0, wraps up the homestand to start the year.
8-0 start for the defending champs. Big test on the road in Houston. Up next for the Volunteers until they return back home next week. North Alabama work their way to Birmingham this upcoming weekend. Great crew on deck here in Knoxville tonight. Andy Brock and Will Heflin signing off as Tennessee gets it done in 9 tonight.
Hết chắc ID để nó xong. em tự em trước đi đem pop dần sang cho cái ảnh nào nó đông đông nào trên mạng ấy đấy là trên đấy trên Google ấy trên Google tìm hoặc ghép đi lên ghép đi chưa hết rồi nè thằng đấy tôi mới thắt view này